So we're looking at kilometers.
And you're using
MapQuest.
Well, we start off with MapQuest, and
Okay.
it was not working, so we switched to Google Maps
Google
because it
Maps.
was just not working.
Is that what
Yeah.
you do?
So when we did that, so the first thing they had to do was find their distance from their school. They had to estimate first, and so the estimations are quite comical because of it was quite. One said 14 kilometers, and it only ended up being 4.39 kilometers. So as they went through searching, they were able to then, it was interesting. One of the questions the kid said was, "I don't know where Ottawa is," right? Or capital. We said the capital, national capital. So
Did most of them know it was Ottawa?
no. So we actually no. So the kid said, "I don't know," and he wouldn't estimate on that. So we had to zoom. I had to zoom him out to see the distance, and so now he overestimated, but it was still he knew that he couldn't really estimate unless he saw what it was. I thought that was kind of a neat.
Actually, speaking of like seeing, I borrowed from Miss Canning her measuring tapes, and especially for my kids who aren't working at grade level yet, when we were doing around your waist and like the distance around your wrist because we were measuring body parts, I physically took the tape and then I just stretch it out a bit and tell me when to stop when you think that's around the size of your waist or your wrist, because for those ones who weren't there yet, they needed that visual. And so those are really handy. I might have to grab a few of those and myself, because those students just aren't at the abstract part yet, and that visual will really help them.
Oh, that's good. I guess that was the other piece, right? We didn't have time before we went in to share what we actually did, like what we were doing. So you shared yours, right?
Right, yeah.
And so you were measuring. and
We had a
estimating.
chart where they had different body parts, and they had to estimate what they thought and what unit of measurement they would use, and then they used that to actually measure that body part and see how close they were in the comparisons there.
Okay. And then.
Uh,
We did a smartboard activity where the kids got to move pictures with measurements and match them up. And there was also a short video in there, which was very popular. The kids really liked it.
And you were moving around a bit on the carpet, I guess, right?
Well, we did a little bit of, measuring kind of activities where when they were guessing how long a bus was or how long a car was, we put down, because one of them said at one point like 2 meters, so we looked to see what 2 meters looked like, and then everybody got into 2 meters and saw that we didn't really fit, so we readjusted. Yeah, it was fun.
And one thing I noticed, like sometimes you think, oh, it's a computer, everybody needs to be on the computer, using the computer. Well, when they were doing that, or when they were measuring their body parts, or estimating, measuring, they were just as engaged.
Anything
it was
hands-on.
like, it was great to see, right? Or the Cuisinart, that group was like right involved with that. It wasn't just the ones that had the opportunity to compute. And then you were kind of doing
We were
walk
on a
around?
hunt for different types of measurements, a centimeter and 5 centimeters,
How many different sheets?
100 centimeters. So the kids, they struggled with the smaller units of measurement. So they could get the meter stick up and they could get, okay, that's the width of the bulletin board. So, and then they only had so many spaces to fill
And they
in.
get the centimeters and millimeters sometimes a little mixed up, but they have here on the chart, they are given a length, and they need to find an object that is less than that, about the same length, and an object that is more than that, and then write the name of the object in the space.
So for some of them, trying to decide is 143 centimeters. Is that more than, like, which box are we going to put it in? Because once the boxes are filled up, then you have to go to something else. So it's the smaller units that gave them the most difficult. Yeah.
And it just had a meter stick to go around with.
And they had a ruler as
And
well.
a ruler to it, so that
Yeah.
sort of helps with the small.
I think my happy moment was when somebody measured something in centimeters, and I said, now what would that be in meters? And he told me like that, and I was like, frick it, Apple. All right.